Hello everyone. Today I want to show you my method for getting an outline or a sketch, you could call it, onto my watercolor paper. And this is simple. You don't have to be able to draw to do this. I know a lot of people feel like they have to be able to draw to paint, and that's not necessarily true. You can use tools and methods to get your sketch and your outlines onto your paper and then work on the painting side of it. It's good to learn to sketch, but it's not absolutely required. So what I've done first is I have this picture that came from Pixabay, and I have printed it off. I basically put it in Photoshop. I made it the size that I was going to want it to be in Photoshop, and then I printed it on 2 sheets of paper because it was too big for 1 sheet of paper. It's a really cruddy print because my printer is not very good, but it'll work for what I need here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 pieces and I'm going to put them together to make one. I'm trying to line up, there's like this little dot right there. And then up here, I want to make sure that all of these things line up. Okay, when I've got it in place, I've got some painter's tape here, and I tape it at the top, and I'm going to tape it at the bottom, and that should keep everything where it belongs. Okay, so I've made a sized picture, and if I was working on like 8.5 by 11 paper, that I wouldn't even have to have gone with the 2 sheets, but I wanted this to be a little bigger. So this is my watercolor block. This is a Dick Blick watercolor block, cold pressed. And what we're gonna do is coming to the front to a clean sheet. If you're not familiar with blocks, a block is adhered all the way around. So all the sheets are stuck together. It's not loose like a pad. There's one spot up here where you can get in there, and that's to take off the paper. If you don't have a block, you need to tape your paper to another surface. A table, I used to have a drawing board that I use sometimes, but I very rarely use anything that's not a block these days because I really like the fact that the block keeps the paper flat for me. So if you don't have a block, tape your paper down. Then I have a sheet of graphite paper here, and if you look at it, if you can see it, you can tell it is a very well used sheet of graphite paper. Please make sure that you have graphite paper, not carbon paper. Graphite paper will be available at an art supply store or a craft store. Carbon paper will be available at an office supply store. And while they look exactly the same, if you use carbon paper, you won't be able to erase any of your outline once you put it on. If you use graphite paper, you can erase a lot of the outline if you want to, which can come in really handy. So graphite paper, and you can use it hundreds of times. I can't tell you how many times I've used this sheet of graphite paper, but the best ones are ones that you've used a lot. Because most of the time when you make an outline, you don't actually want it to be very dark. Watercolor is transparent, and if you have a dark line on here, it's going to show through your painting. And so you actually want something that's very light, just enough to give you some direction. So the darker side of the graphite paper goes down. There's like a matte side and a more shiny side. So it's that shinier side down. I'm going to put my picture on here. Kind of line it up where I'm going to want it to be. And then I'm going to take a piece of painter's tape and I'm going to tape my picture at the top. The reason I'm going to tape it down is, number one, that means it's not going to move on me and mess up my outline. But number two, I can pick this up and check what I'm doing and lay it back down, and it's because I've taped it, it's going to be in the exact same spot. So that simplifies this. Now, some people say this method is cheating. It's not cheating, okay? I tell people I'm a painter. I don't draw. I would like to draw someday, but I'm good at painting. I'm not so good at drawing. And until I get good at drawing, there are ways to get around that. So work smarter, not harder. Now, when you go to make this outline, you don't want to push too hard. You want it to be pretty soft. And when you're making an outline, you're just looking at, what do I need to know when I'm painting? What do I need to place? Okay? You're not sketching. So for example, on this little piggy here, actually, I have my graphite paper on the wrong side. So let me put my graphite paper over here on this right side. Okay, start with this piggy. So this little piggy, he's got a little mouth down here, and that's his nostril. So I want to mark that so I can see where the nostril is. And then there's this like light section on the top of his nose. I gotta tell you, I'm just barely pressing on that. And if you see the picture, the outline, that little light section I just did, it's really barely there, whereas the nostrils and the little mouth are a little easier to see because they're going to be outlined in black. So I don't mind if that's a little bit dark. But this light section, I want to be able to make that disappear. There are these little wrinkles on his face. So I'm marking in the wrinkles because I want them to be where they belong. Okay. And then there's like a darker area here. And I'm kind of gently putting that in. Again, I can check and be like, can I see that? Did I press hard enough? Not quite. So press a little harder, going around. Put that on. Okay. And then he has like black spots here. This is a black section. Kind of outlining that black section. All right. And this is the side of his face. And there's like a dark black shadow here. And that may actually, part of that be part of him, but it's so dark it's hard to tell. Okay, marking off where his ear is, and then there's this dark section inside of the ear. So I'm marking that. And then here, this is a black spot. This is a black spot. Okay, so I've kind of got that section going. Now there's red and there's white in here. But I'm going to do that by eye after I'm done, because if I mark any of that, it's too light and it's going to show through. So I'm going to mark where his eyelid is here. I kind of want to mark that there's this area around the eye where there's not much hair. Okay. Another thing you might mark sometimes is the direction the hair is flowing. Sometimes that's helpful later when you look at it. All right, I got this other ear here. I'll outline that ear. It's got a dark section here in the middle of it. Okay, and then he's got these cute little hairs going off this way. And he's got a little wattle that comes over here. Darker in that section. Okay, so I've pretty much marked off his face. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, you can see, let's see how well you can see that. Yeah, it's pretty hard to see even on the video. Bring it a little closer here. All right, you can see that it's far from being a sketch. It's mainly just it's placing things in the right size and the right proportion so that when I go to paint them later, I know that they're on the page where they need to be and that they're the right size. So this is actually the ear of this second pig. All right, black spot here, edge of Piggy up here, black spot here, white spot there, he's got another spot there and there. His body comes down here. Mark off those spots. Okay, and I can see there's some more, like there's brown and there's black in here. I'm gonna do that just as I'm painting. There's no need to draw all that in. All right, second Piggy. The paper goes to here, so I can get part of this done before I need to move my paper. And get the outline of where this second Piggy's head is. Like that, and he's got a black spot here and here. Hair's going like this. There's a little snout here. He's got some spots. Trying to make his snout not very dark because this one's is very pink. And I'm afraid if I draw him in too darkly, that again, that outline is going to show, and I'd rather as little as possible of the outline shows. Nostrils, dark spots on the nose. Okay, little chin there. And here's where he's along the ground, and I need to move my paper. So again, I can pick this up. It's not a problem because I've taped it down. All I need to do is swipe down. All right, so his ear is coming here. Drawing that in. Here's some kind of darker areas in the middle of the ear. Here's his little eye. I'm lightly marking this area that's hairless around the eye. Dark area there, that's kind of like a little chin. It's got this fur going on. Okay. Black spot, black spot, black spot, black spot, black spot there. Since they're going to be black, I can just draw those in pretty dark and just kind of make a scribble like, black, black there, black there. It's just helping me place the spots so that they are on the pig the same place where they actually are. Sometimes I don't care if I get the spots in the right place. I might be like, this is my pig now because I'm drawing him and I'm going to put black spots wherever I want to. But if I was doing this drawing for someone as a commission or a pet portrait, like this was their pig, then I would want to make sure that I put those spots where they actually were on the pig, because his owners are probably going to notice if I have the spots in the wrong place. So just a note that sometimes it matters, but sometimes it doesn't. Okay, there's his eye line. He's got black through here. There, darker area there. Interesting, the hair kind of goes in a swirl there. Okay, black there, hair's coming that way. Mark off his ear. He's got black there and there, black up here on his ear and going up into it. All right. I think that's most of the details I need. I'm going to look at it and go, okay, will this give me the information I need to paint? I think so. So when if I'm satisfied with it, if I'm like, yep, that's good enough, that'll tell me what I need to know. Then I go ahead and, actually, I'm not showing the bottom of this pig's face right here. Let's get that in there. Okay. So once I've done that, I can remove the tape at the top. Now, once you've removed the tape, let me tell you, don't try to stick it back on there and copy, because you will end up with it in the wrong place. But let me just put this a little closer so you can see, sketch a little better. This is what I've got. Obviously, this is not fancy. It's not like a perfect little sketch. But what it is it's showing me where to put things on the paper when I go to paint. Now, if you look at it and you're like, man, I did not mean to make that line so dark. That is just too dark. I need to lighten that up. Then what you want is a kneadable eraser, okay? Kneadable erasers, you literally can knead them like taffy. They get soft, and as you knead them, that kind of kneads in the whatever graphite you've already picked up with it. So you get it into a little ball, and then you can take that and you can pick up, like I think this area around this pig's eye needs to be fairly faint, because all I was showing there was that there isn't any hair there. So I don't really want to see that. This top of this pig's nose is pink, so I want it fairly light as well. This pig too, his nose is pink. So I want to be able to see where to put stuff, but I don't want my pencil lines to really show through a lot. If they show through a little, it's not really a big deal. This ear is almost white on the end, so I want to kind of keep that light. This ear is light, but what's behind it is not particularly light on the back, so that's all right. And I don't see any other lines that are like obviously too dark for what I'm going to put there. But now's the time to do it. Once you make this paper wet, you are not going to be able to erase anymore. It just won't come up. So now is the time. If you find anything that you want to not be so dark, deal with it now. All right, so that's how to get a sketch onto a paper. And I'm thinking I will show some of the painting of these pigs as well. So if you like that, hit like, subscribe, share, let me know you like it, and then I know that we want to keep making more videos. Thanks, bye.